Hey guys, Sean Bougie, surplusfundsriches.net. This is the July 20th, 2023 live question and answer webinar. Hey, William, I will answer your questions as they come in. I'm going to stop for just a second. I'm going to stop chat. And Shaban, howdy from Toronto, Canada. Howdy, Shaban. Somebody can let me know they can hear me fine. And then I've got to set chat off for a bit. There's a couple things I need to cover before getting into it tonight. Hey, Rochelle. Please do not use the question and answer section, guys. Use chat. Serena says hello. And again, if somebody can let me know you can hear and see me okay, I'll keep going here. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Looks like we're good. Rory says we're good. Cherie says we're good. Brad says we're good. And by the way, guys, I'm going to go over a bunch of stuff, including deals that are currently under contract. I'm going to be looking at the board that I have a picture of. Haven't said it. So Annette, Shaban, Bernie, Cherie, Byron, Jeanette, Latanya, Hasha, everybody. And by the way, good news for you tonight, Hasha. Really good news. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop chat for just a second, guys. There we go. Because I've got a couple of things I need to cover first. I'm going to go back in and see. Mike, Donna, Roland, and Michael says they can all hear me. Saudi from London. Awesome, Saad. Mark says hello. All right. So, guys, some of you guys I know are here for the new program, and I might be a little disappointing for you on that. I'm going to kind of cover the overview. Those of you guys that watched the video on that new program, Redemption Wholesaler, I'm going to cover that really quickly and go into some detail, but I loaded a second video up that goes into a little more detail and gave you an actual example of a deal that would have worked had you jumped on it during the sale, or rather after it had sold. So I'll go into that in just a second. Right now, there's a couple things I need to do. One is, guys, whatever you do, I think what's getting glossed over a lot and what's driving us a little nuts is when you get one of our programs, there's kind of a glossary of terms, definitions, that type of thing in the front. Please don't skim through that because it's going to help you. It's going to help us communicate when we're speaking the same language when you're using support. It makes a huge difference. Okay. Just not angry, just telling you what's going to help both of us. So real quick though, I want to go over the deal board and you can't see it, but I can. So I'm going to cover some things. And what I'm going to do, guys, when I'm done, I'll cover the states that we're working in currently. We've worked in a ton more states than these. And if it's over 50,000, I'll give you the dollar amount. But I'm going to mention first name and last initial of the researcher that's got the deal. I'm just going to go through the board real quick. And then again, if it's over 50, I'll tell you. And I'll give the last name of the claimant that we're working with on your behalf. So Michael L. Royal, we're working with that one. Hold on, I'm like scrolling through as I go here. AJ Malden, 56 grand. AJ, just so you know, she's kind of ghosted us a little bit here, and we need her to show up because her kids have made a claim. We're taking care of that. I'm having her, somebody going out and meeting her in person to get her out there. Here we go. Eric F. Your McCoy deal is under contract. AJ, not RJ, AJ. Gordon is under contract. That's 53. Nia B. Your Tanguip is under contract. That's a lot, 145. Samra C, 54,000. Pate is under contract. A lot of these they're a mix, guys, of panning, tax overages on national. Good Lord, mortgage overages on national as well. So let's see here. Hold on. I'm sorry. Samra. Okay. Brad, you already had a conversation with you, but 51 grand. The Conyers, you got more than that. Pete McKinney is under contract. Kenneth W, just shy of 50 grand. Yeldell, these are the people that are currently under contract and being worked at the court, by the way. Nathan A, Dodge, I believe it is. Okay. Aaron W, you got a couple, Aaron, and this is a big one. This is the Harris file from you, Aaron W, 121,000. Charles M, Heartland Homes, we're still working through that one. It's a weird, guys, don't ask me. It's a bizarre thing where, anyway, it's not like we were letting people turn stuff in and other people not. It's just, it worked out this way. All right. So Brad again, 72 grand. Goldine, it was the client. Pete R again, just shy of 45,000. Brown, first initial M. Aaron W, again, good Lord. Ruiz, under contract. This means I'm, by the way, working these in the courts already, guys. Brian H, you know about this one. Capers, should be any day we get that. 100 grand. I think there was actually a HOA claim on that. It's going to take it down to 91. Eric K, I'm sorry, I'm having a little trouble reading this. Cartwright, there we go. Billy E, big one, Billy, 95 grand. Ramsey. Kent W, 55 grand. Margarita. Margarita. Darlai I should say. 64K. Bastion. Summer S, 55,000. Reed. Michael L again. Looks like Rohrbach. Bobby S. Hubbard. Kurt A. Santiago. LeBaron. Korcher. Pete R. again. Fantastic. 75 grand, Pete. Cannon. Ken W. again. Minor. Yuri. You got a couple too, Yuri. 65K. This one's last name Hard. Porter. E. Porter. I did that backwards. Sorry about that. And that is Soyi. Okay. Brad Oliver again. Smith. M is the first initial. Pete R. again. Castle. And that's 64K. Serena W. Serena, you're in here tonight. 60K. That is Robinson. Kelly C. Who's a big one? The Silverman is the name on it. Kelly, $240,000 deal. Congratulations. Yuri, another one. 65 grand. And that's Cyrene. I'm almost done, guys. Tracy H. Nettles. Yuri again. Himilski. You'll know the one I'm talking about. Pete again. Pete R. Sutherland Klein. Kelly B. Oh, and that was 70, by the way, Pete. Kelly B. Yeah, $122,000. Moreland. Aaron W. again. $111,000. Johnson. David L. $267,000. Chalmers. Rachel M. Burnett. Stephen W. 63 grand. Brown. Dennis F. 73 grand. Culderson. Marisol N. 52 grand. Jones. Shamar E. 75 grand. We got half of it, Shamar. It was two brothers on that deal. Last name is Lester. You'll know which one I'm talking about. All right, let me get out of this and back into the webinar. So really good news on those. Briefly, though, on the new program, it's an alternative. It's another tool in your toolbox. It's called the Redemption Wholesaler. And we used to sell a program, well, now it's only available in the Diamond, called the National Redemption Program, where you were going after property that had already sold at a tax sale. There's 7 states that you can work this in. Already sold at a tax sale, okay? But it's in a state where the owner had anywhere from a couple months to over a year to redeem it, and you'd make a deal with the owner to redeem the property on their behalf and then flip it and give them a portion of it. Well, now we took it a step further, and it's going to allow you guys to actually flip that as a wholesaler to an investor. Really easy. If you haven't seen the videos on it, I'm going to really recommend you watch those. It's on the site, surplusfundsriches.net. Click on products or the banner at the top talking about the sale. Both videos are on there. Watch them in order, please. You're going to be blown away by what we're offering with that program. All right, I'm going to open it up. Again, though, guys, really like to wait. 2 weeks from now, we're going to have another webinar. That'll be 8 days prior to the sale, the next sale. So that's probably where I'm going to mostly cover questions on the new program. I'm not trying to blow anybody off on that. It's just I'm going to have a lot more going on with videos on the YouTube channel and go into a lot more detail there. And I think we get lost tonight if we just started going into that nonstop. All right. And Mike said good. Donna said good. Roland, hello from Philly. Michael can hear me. All right. I'm going to open up chat again, guys. Any questions? Okay. Again, I'd really like to concentrate. I'm sorry if you were really looking forward to covering the redemption wholesaler tonight, but I'd like to really go into that. Unless you've got a specific question and you watch the videos, I'd really like to go into, if you've got a specific question and you watch the videos that I put out on that, happy to answer it. But I can't like go in depth without you guys having at least that background, if you follow me. All right, let me open up the chat. There is also a download, guys. That's a download that has an overview of all the programs we're offering in the next sale and the pricing. That is, you can download that from this. Guys, if you're watching this on YouTube on a replay or something like that, you're not going to be able to get the file download. You'll have to go to the page, surplusfundsriches.net, click on the banner at the top or on products, and both of the pricing and the overview downloads will be in the middle of the page. All right, chat's enabled. Fire away. Here we go. Cheryl says, hi, guys. Looks good from here. Cheryl says, Cheryl, may I ask which states are getting the huge surplus? Actually, tell you what, I'm not going to, let me tell you the states that are currently on the board. And this is probably about a fourth of the states we've worked. But I will tell you that. I meant to do that anyway. So let me do that. That's Dave. They're all over the place, though, Dave. It's not just one state. Seriously. So here's what we've got. We are currently working in Delaware, North Carolina, Indiana. Panning, by the way, has been unbelievably good to us. Indiana, the Panning program, Panning for Hidden Surplus Funds. Indiana, Maryland, Texas, Arizona, Georgia, Florida, Missouri, Pennsylvania, South Carolina. A lot of repeats. We're getting a lot of, okay, Mississippi. Hadn't seen that one in a long time. California, we're seeing a couple of those. Those are tax overages using the national system because we found out that the mortgage overages were just really high competition. We got one in Wisconsin where we're waiting to hear from the attorney because they just overturned that law there, and we're not sure if we're going to be able to go after tax yet. And it's just after that Supreme Court ruling, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. Ohio, we've been working that for some time, but we've got another one in on that. Again, Missouri, Illinois, and more. South Carolina. A lot of Southeast stuff, but it's really spread out as far as the high dollars. We've got a nice one in California. You got a bunch in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Maryland. They're all over the place. Texas, there's quite a few in Texas as well. All right, let's go back to the webinar. Sorry, I'm like not looking at the screen when I'm reading this stuff. Okay. Hello, Chris from CAMS. This is Bobby. I can hear you. Are the product training programs video training? Cherie, no. They are and they're not. You get an ebook, and that is a step-by-step in writing, and then that has a link with a password that goes to a resources page with video training. This is a new skill set. I get this a lot. People think they can learn everything from video. You really can't. You've got to put some reading in on this. And if you really follow the people that say I've got pure video training, a lot of that is videos of them reading written script. So it is a combination of both. You also get support. It's email-based through Jeff. He has 3 business days to get back. He typically gets back in 1. But we go into some rough days too. We also have these live question and answer webinars twice a month. Let me scroll down because you guys are coming in hot and heavy on me. The new one, by the way, is going to be very quick down and dirty ebook and then a single link to a video. And that's it. There's not even going to be a resources page. It's a do-it-yourself. The redemption wholesaler is a do-it-yourself. And it's just easy peasy. We're not going to have to go into a whole lot. Hello, everyone says Isabel. Jeff says hi from Phoenix. Is Arizona any good? Yes and no, Jeff. What's funny is there's a couple of them on the board right now, but typically it's a little. There's 2 things with Arizona, very similar to Florida. Also, a little bit of competition there, a little more competition than some other states. We can kind of blow through that with the kind of offer we give. We use the structured buyout. We give money up front and then more money, of course, when we get it out from the court. Florida's the same way too, though, because they're retirement states. So you have a higher death rate in those states, just so you know. And we don't pursue, in most states, we're not going to pursue going through airship and that type of thing. Now, if we've, it's on the resources page of what we take. Sean, I watched both videos today, and I'm wondering if I need a U.S. LLC to do redemption wholesaling as I'm based in Canada. You really don't. You're going to be flipping this to, you really don't. You're going to be flipping this to investors. You're not going to be actually buying it or anything else, which, by the way, foreigners can buy property here because the property is in the States and you fall under all the laws here. But, you don't. That's a good question, but you don't. Pete, you came out with a video on trusts about 2 days after I submitted one and had it accepted. It did clear up some questions I had. I'm excited about the new program. Hey, that's great, Pete. I am referring to, and I'm referring to the panning. Somebody just asked to use the question and answer section. Guys, use chat, please, not the question and answer section. Don't use the question and answer. Use chat. Okay. Rich, I'm referring to the panning program. There was mention of files you would provide. How do I get access to these files? Okay, Rich, we provide access to our active files list. So before you research anything, you take whatever you're working, the names off of whatever list you've got or you're creating, and you check our list so we don't already have it already. That way you're not duplicating anybody's efforts in researching something that would be a waste of time. We're very transparent, and that's updated usually every evening, Monday through Friday. Peter, I haven't had a claim go through yet. Is there anything I can do to expedite things? Peter, if this is Peter R., you got like 4 or 5 under contract currently. I just, if it's Peter R. Anyway. Rich, sorry if I addressed it earlier. I just joined the session. You're fine. Rory, love your brick. Thank you. Got lucky when I bought the house. It's the guy was a contractor right before me. I'm the third owner. And it's actually tile. It's brickit.com. And he picked it up from there. It's actually real brick from New York, where they take the brick from old buildings and they recycle it. They cut all the mortar off the sides and they cut it into tile width. So you can actually tile walls with it. I have the same thing with an interior arch. It's beautiful. Thank you for that. Let's see. Love your brick. Thank you. On the national program, couple of questions. Is the price per month? Absolutely not. Rory, that's it. One-time shot. For tax overages, is there a finite number of leads I can propose? So you've got to research the debt against the property, fill out a worksheet with that information, and turn it into us. There's a max of 100 per month. So you're fine. I have Missouri leads, so I'm ready to submit. Okay, what is the degree of vetting I need to do with the local municipal county to make sure it's valuable for your team to work on? So, Rory, what you do is you get a list. It has to be a list of surplus, right? You take that list, research the debt, make sure there was an additional debt against the property, because if there was, it would have a priority claim to the surplus in front of the owner, right? Fill out a worksheet with that and turn it in. Of course, before you do that, once you get your list, you're going to take the names off that, check it against our active files list, our working files list, to make sure we don't have it. That way we don't waste any time researching something we have. But we're not even close to saturation there, so I don't think there's an issue. Also, you have to make sure it's a recent list. I'm sorry. Excuse me, Rory. Make sure it's a recent list, or double check that the funds are there if you don't know if it's a recent list or not. Usually the lists are dated, or the county will be able to tell you if they update that list that you're looking at. Jason, how do we contact trustee for mortgage overages? Trying to work myself. Thanks, folks. So I'm assuming you got the panning program, Jason, and if that's the case, it tells you how to do that. It tells you that the trustee that held the sale is the one that's going to be holding actually holding the money, and that's the person you have to contact. That's how you get the money released after you've made a deal with your claimant, and they are the ones to contact. That will be on the deed that foreclosed on that. Latanya, I've helped with tax surplus before. How can I only partner? The program teaches you how to do it on your own and how to partner up. The national surplus is $597. It'll be available again August the 11th and 12th, starting at 10 a.m. Eastern on the 11th. And guys, because people ask me this all the time, it costs me money to start people. Okay, I've got a full-time crew. I'm going to be paying them to, when you turn in a file test, especially on national, paying them to data entry it. I'm going to be paying them to mail it immediately. Day it comes in, mail it and call it. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 full-time people on my staff. Okay. Not only do I pay them well and give them bonuses on deals, so there's incentive there, right? On top of the good pay they're already getting, they have full medical benefits completely paid by me. So I got a great crew and I take care of them and they take care of these deals really well. Um, it costs me money to start you up, providing support, sending out mobile notice on the deals, making the calls, the mailing. I have to charge for the program. Monty, do you have any partnerships here in Cook County, Illinois? Actually, Monty, we recommend, unless you can go into the court there, it's kind of wonky because Cook is, and by the way, guys, you're doing this from home online, for goodness sake, on your computer. Don't get caught up in, I'm going to work my little neighborhood. That's crazy. Work wherever you get a list, right? That's crazy. Just want to work where you are. And I understand why people think that way, but you really don't need to. Now, Cook is difficult to get accurate lists and a little more difficult to research debt, just so you know. The surrounding counties, we've done a ton of business in, what is it, DuPage, a bunch of counties right around there. But Cook is a little more difficult to work. Saad, Sean, with the surplus 50/50, yep, that's available in the Diamond Bundle. Do we get the buyout structured agreement? And could you just briefly touch on how the surplus 50/50 works? Sure. So Saad, that's available only in the Diamond Bundle. That was like one of those deals, just like the one we got coming up in August, where we offered for, that was actually offered for 1 day, and then boom, the only way you can get it is Diamond. It's kind of a give back program. Now, the way that works is you get 50% of net. Your job, however, is to not only research the debt against the property, but to also call them and make sure they're willing to speak with us. You hand it off. And this brings me to another thing. You hand it off to us. So you call them to make sure you have the right person and they're willing to speak to us. And then you let them know that you've got somebody else that's going to be calling. The script is really slick with that. It's real easy to use. You do not negotiate percentages. And listen, somebody recently did that to me. He said, man, he was working the Premier 16. By the way, the 50/50, we also will skip trace the first 25 for you and send you that information. He was working the Premier 16, which is very similar to the surplus 50/50. And when I say 50/50, it's 50% of net. We got to pay the owner, off the top, and we have to pay attorneys. But he was working the Premier 16. He said, man, I'm so excited. I got this deal under contract, and I got another one that's going to go under contract. I said, well, okay, so you're working it yourself. No, I'm going to be sending it to you. You guys, on the Premier 16 and on the 50/50, where you're calling them, and even on panning on the 60/40, you don't spend our money. You don't get this. We negotiate the deal with the people. We know what our attorney is going to cost and all that. So he got ahead of himself a little bit. Is this recorded? Robert asked. Yes, it is. Donna, I know you pay for deeds and mortgage information by paying for it in Georgia. In other words, yes, people have to pay for access. We don't compete against you guys. It's only guys that are working it. Georgia requires you actually pay a fee to access a register of deeds. One of the very few states that actually charges for that. I think it's $25 a month. It's called the GSCCCA. And if you look up Register of Deeds, Georgia, it'll pop up, and it's a subscription method. Because of that, there's little competition in Georgia, very little, because people don't want to spend the $25 a month. I am having difficulty getting civil case information in Georgia. How do I get that specifically? Or if we can't get the civil case information, can we still file documents on the case? I don't know why you're looking at the civil case information, Donna. Why are you looking for that? I don't think the program asks for that. We're asking you to research debt, mortgages, and ownership against the property at the time of the sale and turning that into us. If you're going to partner with us, I don't understand that one. Juanita, can my sister and I work the program together as a team? Yes. Now, here's how we do that, guys. Support will respond to one email address, the email address you bought from. So you're going to have to share it. We're not going to, and one of you guys needs to get trained, read the book at least, and train the other one. You know what I mean? We get people together that have nothing to do with each other if we start doing that. So anyway, one person can use support, one email address, and you guys can work it together. I can pay a company or an individual. However, there's a spot on the title worksheet where you turn it in and you have to pick one of your names, because if there's a fight later, I don't want to get in the middle of the drama. So it has to be one of you as the researcher name, regardless of whether or not I'm paying a company. What's the best program to start in this space, but the heavy lifting is shared with your partnership? National surplus funds, lose. National surplus funds. Doyle, I understand that with the national surplus, you do not take locks. There are many on the working board. Why is that? I don't understand, Doyle. I understand that national surplus, you do not take locks. LOCKS. Sorry. I don't know what you're talking about. Christopher, I had a look at Up for Deeds, but I found a website you pay separately for. You are not on a recorder website. You're on a private website, not affiliated with a government agency. Can I still use this? I really would have waited as much as you could, Christopher. I have run across counties. And by the way, guys, nobody's going to arrest you for calling the county. Call the county recorder's office. Also call the Land Records Department or the Register of Deeds. Hey, where's your website where I can search your stuff? Take you 2 minutes, and they'll tell you. But if you're working with a private, I have seen some counties where a private site like deeds.com or something will give you the link directly to the county site. But if it's not a government site, I wouldn't trust it. Hello from Mississippi. Fantastic. Byron, hi, Sean. Student on the panic since January. Love it. I have 2 cases that are 4 months old now. I know I need to get 20 for an update. Okay, just so everybody knows, whenever I get one under contract, I immediately call you, okay? The reason we set the 20 as that's when you're allowed to ask for updates from us is because we're still going to call you anyway. We're going to call you if you turned in 1 and we got it under contract. But the reason we put the 20 is that gives you the more in-depth, gives you a better idea of what's going on in the back as far as like what everybody, where we are with every one of your cases. Typical case time, it really varies, Byron, depending on the area. Average overall is about 3 months, maybe 4 if we're running into a lot of states that have delays built in. David, I don't find this easy. Okay. When reading your ebook, you often refer us to other parts of the ebook but provide no link. I'm all over the place looking for answers. David, I'm sorry, I completely disagree with you. We're talking about 75 pages, maybe, depending on which program you have. Whenever we direct you to another part of the book, we'll tell you where to look. Rochelle, where can I find investors in those states? That's the cool thing. So, Rochelle, when we're talking about an investor being able to make the kind of money, I'm assuming you're talking about redemption wholesaler, kind of money that we're talking about at the speed we're talking about. Oh my God, we're running out of time. Jeff got off current questions. I've got more to get to, you guys. I'm not overlooking that. But honestly, what I put in the ebook, literally investor blogs, you can list it. The deed's in your name. You can list it if you want. Investor blogs, or you can even just use Facebook. I mean, seriously, it's that easy to sell the property. Jeff and I used to post a lot of times when we were kind of broke realtors years and years and years ago. We would use some other things too. What's that? It's a list online. Anyway, not Kurt's list, but something like that. Nope, I'm Peter C. Okay. Yvette, you mentioned in the video to the newest program, what we're to let the investor know how much what we want out of the contract in addition to the former owner. But I assume that we shouldn't disclose this information as the investor might want more out of it, but perhaps I might be amiss. Yeah, Yvette, just tell them exactly what you're going to make, what you want to make, what you want the other person, what you've agreed to pay through them. The claimant, what you've agreed, or last owner before you, what you've agreed to pay him, just be upfront. Everybody thinks they got to hide crap. You don't have to hide anything. I'm not saying you're like that. I'm just, you know what I'm saying. Jay, so with the panning for in surplus, you guys don't provide leads. No, Jay, we teach you how to get them. Rich, understand about the files in the working stage, but there were other files you referred to in the initial announcement of the panning program. These were the ones you were going to give. No. That was the 50-50 program, Rich. Oh, I know what you're talking about. Those were examples. They were examples of some deals that we had seen out there that now they've already expired. Guys, you got to work the program, okay? We're not giving you stuff. We had stuff in there that was actually about to expire, and some people had turned it in and that type of thing. But no, I know what you're talking about now with the panning. You got to work it and build your own list, guys. Golly, we didn't take that off until March, man. We sold this January 1st. All right. Shaban, you mentioned in the first video that what makes the redemption wholesaling option so simple is it utilizes a skill set you have already acquired through surplus funds. This will be the first of many programs I'll be purchasing. Is the redemption wholesaling program beginner friendly? It is, Shaban, but I got to tell you, if you've never done title work, you've never researched debt and that type of thing, I'd probably bundle it. I'd get national surplus and then add this on, or vice versa, however you can do it with the sale pricing on there. I'd also include a partnership program, just because it's great to have more than one option here. Cherie, do you teach us how to research the debt? I absolutely do. Lillian, hello, haven't started yet, but do you have extra training for the Premier 16 and regular surplus? If so, how much is the training? It's all included, Lillian. Teach you how to do it on your own and how you can be a researcher with us. It's everything you need, no fluff. Jeanette, we can work Illinois. Thought you said Cook County was bad. I did. Cook County's rough to work. You can work Illinois for national. Yeah. Isabel, I went to Cook County Court. They do not give out the list. I have found some deals. Yeah. It's different out there. They're crooks in Cook, okay? Cook County. Daniel, thanks for all the info. First time watcher buying national surplus August. Awesome. Look forward to having you on board. Will Florida surplus ever be sold as an add-on? Nope. Look, it's one state. Statutes are a lot different than other states. We're able to work it far differently as a result. And we don't want to crisp up the state. So we want to keep that down a little bit, the competition. And the way we're doing that is there's a barrier. You've got to buy either the best of the best bundle, the gold, or the diamond, one of those. So that's how we do it. And by the way, we've put Florida on its own before on special sales. Didn't sell a whole lot of them. So we're just, and when we did, it was $697 just for the surplus program by itself. That would probably be even more expensive today. But yeah, you got to get one of those bundles. Lawrence, hey, Sean. I'm new, decided to work Delaware first. I spoke with the core personnel that handles the deeds. She said the online info is the actual deed. An instrument number is provided. She said that Protho Notary's office handles liens and judgment. Does that sound right to you per your experience? Yeah. And Lawrence, as long as you can provide the documents as listed in your title worksheet, we're good. Isabel, can't find sheriff's deed. Might be in a redemption state where they haven't recorded it yet. See, that's why we ask for that deed on the sale. It might not be called sheriff's deed, by the way, Isabel. It's whatever the deed is that transferred it at the foreclosure. Okay. Excuse me. You got to have that deed. Otherwise, we don't have proof that it's sold. Some sales are vacated, guys. What is TLO? You mentioned a few of your training videos. So we got out of TLO. We like using it's a skip tracing system, people finder system. We like using IDI data and microbilt. If you do microbilt, microbilt.com, give him a ring. Talk to Randy Mosteller. He will waive a startup fee if you mention Greater Good Company or Sean Bougie. We made that deal with him. Great company. IDI is great too, ididata.com. And believe it or not, White Pages Premium. I can't believe I'm saying that, but they've gotten super accurate, especially with the reverse lookup by address. Which partner program would you recommend for a beginner? Keith, National Surplus. Johnson, Florida Surplus, Florida Remote, aka Florida Surplus, as a standalone program. How do you get it? You don't. It's a partnership program, and it's in those bundles. Saad, when I call up the right person, do I use my company name or do I use your company name to introduce myself to the claimant? Saad, if you got the program, you've got the script, and you don't mention my name when you talk to them at first. There is a way to mention it there at the end when they, you got the right person and they're willing to speak to us. And you're allowed to tell them, by the way, this company gives you 10% of the gross upfront as good faith. You can't talk about back end percentages, but at that point you can give it the name, and then you turn it into us with that, with the Premier 16 or the 50/50 or the Panning 60/40. Your scripts in your book. Donna, I'm looking at that because it asks for case file information if I can get it. Yeah, okay, but Donna, it's not required. So if you can't find it, that's the whole point. If I can get it, right? So if you can't get it, don't worry about it. And then Jeff, of course, said the same. Look, third-party deed search sites only use the official county site. Okay, no exceptions. You got to do that. And guys, Look, we had to kick back a ton of files recently because a guy was using a VA that came up with a fake list for him. Researching the debt takes between 10 and 15 minutes once you've done a couple of them and you realize how easy it is. Okay. Do the work. Don't try to hire that out to a VA. You're going to get screwed. I promise you that. So do the work. Christopher, we got to shut down these questions. Christopher, hello. On the national surplus, there are websites for tax sales. There are also websites for deeds. Research you pay for. Can I use these? I have already asked similar, but I lost connection. So Christopher, you got to do the research on the debt. It's online. You're going to use a registered deeds department or a land records department. It's going to be a government county site that handles that. Oh, I think there's a state that actually does it too, but it's a government state or county site, municipality site that's going to give you the register of deeds information, and that's what you got to use. You can pay for access, like Georgia charges for that if you want to. Some of you guys don't want to do that. Work in another state, wherever you get a list. But yeah, you need to use county sites to research that, guys. Very important. And again, that's another issue we had with the VAs. Not only were the VAs creating fake overage lists, but they were also doing really poor jobs of researching debt. And then, guys, I see there's a couple Q&A questions, but I told you guys I really needed you to use chat. And we're a little over, so I'm going to skip those. Maybe you guys can come back on the next one. Man, we had a great turnout tonight. And I really appreciate everybody coming out and being part of the community. Of course, you can use, if you bought the system, you can use support as outlined in your ebook. And listen to me carefully. If you go to the site, surplusfundsriches.net, go to the sales page, regardless, if you're looking at a program you haven't bought from us yet, or if you're looking at the new one coming out, the Redemption Wholesaler, either way, if you've got a question after reading the material on there, I'm available. My cell phone, no kidding, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Time, Monday through Friday, 704-791-9398. Thanks, guys.